So many things to unpack, B. West. So let's start with the quarterback situation. What did you think of Jalen Hurts?
Well, I thought he did a decent job for a guy that did not get all of the first team reps. And, again, he's a rookie that didn't have preseason, didn't have OTA. So I think he did a decent job, and he provided the spark. And I think that's what all that Doug and the team could have asked him for in that situation is provide a small spark. And I think he did that.
All right. So put me in the mind of a player, because a lot of people are making the assertion that the team played harder with more energy when he came in. What is that all about as far as player dynamics go?
Well, it's funny. I've been thinking about that, and I know that's almost the same thing that happened down in Miami when Tua was inserted. Because what happens is when Carson Wentz has struggled all season long, and now the team, you start to think, well, maybe this is as good as we can be. This is as good as it gets because Carson has struggled. And then you put somebody else in, and they have a little success. And really, it was all about him using his legs early on to scramble, and he made a couple throws. And now, as a team, they're saying, you know what, this is something different. Maybe if I give a little bit more and our quarterback situation is not as dire, maybe we have an opportunity to move the ball more and potentially win a football game. And so that's what generally happens as far as a team. This is different, and so I'm going to try a little bit harder. I'm going to give a little bit more, so that, potentially with this difference as far as the position change, now we can help to win a football game. And really that's all it was. And usually those upticks, those sparks, they last for a little bit, but they're not long lasting, and they're certainly hard to maintain.
Yeah. Does it look to you like they previously played like they didn't believe in Carson Wentz?
Well, how could you? I mean, how could you believe that Carson could get it done based on his past performance? Even in this game, he wasn't very accurate. He made a couple plays in that first series. That was in combination with them running the football. But after that, there wasn't just many plays that Carson made. He just wasn't accurate enough, wasn't making enough plays with his legs either. And then you go back to the last, 10, 12 games. Carson hasn't been good. And so, yeah, I think the young kid came in there, played well. We'll see. We'll see if he gets an opportunity to practice the entire week with the ones and see if that can make a difference against a much better defensive football team than the New Orleans Saints.
All right, so combining the thoughts then, they kind of weren't believing in him because he just wasn't playing well and he wasn't leading anybody anywhere. And then this breath of fresh air comes in and it picks up their spirits, but that could be temporary.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, it's really going to depend on how well Jalen Hurts is going to play if he gets that opportunity. And then you also have to look at the aspect that part of Carson's struggles were the play calling, the players around him, and, of course, the offensive line. That's not going to be any different no matter who you have at the quarterback position.
All right, so where do you stand right now on who starts and who should start?
Well, to me, it's a no-brainer. You have to start Jalen Hurts at this point, and you allow him to go play the next 4 games of the season and see where you end up at. You can't go back to Carson. I just think that tears – you're talking about the spirit of the team. That messes up the spirit of the team because everyone knows how much Carson has struggled. And the only reason that you would be going back to Carson really is because of the money. So I think what you do is you allow Jalen Hurts to get all the reps as far as the starters reps the rest of the season. You allow him to – and then you see what you have. And potentially, let's say Jalen Hurts plays well. Potentially, you have the opportunity to trade him at the end of the season to another team. That's the only play when you think about it, to trade him at the end of the season. You have to show someone else that he has value because, again, you have that salary cap hit at the end of the season or next year for Carson if he's not on the roster in the year after that. And I don't think that's something that Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie want to deal with.
So you're saying you would trade Hurts at the end of this year if he plays well?
Well, I don't know that they have the ability to trade Carson. Based on all the research that I've done, all the things that I've heard, all the people that I've talked to, they don't have the ability to get rid of Carson at the end of this season. So what I would do is I'm playing Jalen Hurts. I'm getting him all the reps, getting him as ready as I possibly can. Then at that point, I'm going to say, which really almost becomes his preseason, his 4 preseason games, potentially some OTA type of stuff there. And then I'm saying, okay, we have an asset that some people may want. And as I bring in a new coach, because at that point we have to bring a new coach, he has to find a way to fix Carson Wentz. And we kind of get rid of a problem. We get rid of the problem of having Jalen Hurts hanging over Carson Wentz's shoulder as you move forward.
All right, let's look at how they started this game, because they started it, we're going to run the football. And they moved the ball on the first drive. He killed a couple plays and went to runs. Miles Sanders was carrying the football. And then Sanders goes 4 series without a carry, and the game really was still close at that point. Explain that to me. Do they not trust him? What's going on with that? Or is this just a Doug cramp?
Mike, I heard the same thing that you heard all off season, that Miles Sanders is going to be our bell cow. He's going to be the guy that's going to carry the load for us. We're going to give him 20 to 25 touches a game because he is probably the most explosive player that you have on our team. I heard that the same way that you guys heard it, and I was expecting that, especially when you start games the way that you started this past one yesterday. Keep running the football. And I also heard Doug say during the week last week, and pretty much every week during the season, I need to do a better job of running the football. And then, there are parts of the game where Doug says, okay, we tried to run. Maybe we had a bad play or didn't get as many yards as we wanted to in one or two of those plays. And now we're going to go back to what we know, what I want to do anyway, which is throw the football. I think that's an error. That's a mistake. And we see how the game changes. We run the football. We have some play action passes. We move the pocket early. We have some success. Then we go back to what we were doing the last 10 games of the season, and we have some failures. And to me, it's hard to explain why Doug can't see it the same way that we're seeing it. Why can't Marty Morningwig see it the same way? Why can't Scangarello see it the same way that we're seeing? They're watching the game. They're not calling the plays. It's hard for me to understand why they are not helping Doug call better plays. And as far as staying with the run, that seems like a simple conversation. Run the ball more, Doug. That's all you have to do.
All right, the last question is about Wentz. The camera caught him on the sidelines, and Hurts through the touchdown pass. He has no choice but to, clap his hands. But psychologically, where is he right now, you think, with this whole thing? And can he get it back?
Oh, I'm sure he's hurt. I'm sure he's first of all, he's disappointed in his own play, number one. You can't be a top-flight athlete and perform the way that he's played and not be disappointed in the way that you've played all season long. So he's disappointed in his play, but he's also probably disappointed that Doug took him out. And now he has to go out there and earn his teammates' trust again. They had that conversation, that team meeting on Friday where he stood up and said, I'm at fault, I need to do better, and I'm going to do better. Well, you had an opportunity on Sunday, and all signs pointed to them having a better situation, at least that first series. And unfortunately, he didn't fulfill that. And so I'm sure he's disappointed. I'm sure he's upset with himself, upset with Doug for taking him out. But, I think Doug did the right thing. He's trying to help his team at least win a football game. Carson wasn't getting it done this week, for a variety of different reasons. And now you have to try to find a way to move on.
All right, so how does he handle this? Like you said, that he has to earn his teammates' trust back. Can he do that now, or does that have to wait until next year when he's got a clean slate to try to be the starter?
Well, there's only one way to do that. That means you have to play better, and that means in the game. So what I would do if I'm Carson, I'm going out there and I'm busting my butt at practice, whether I'm with the starting role or in the reserve role. I'm going to continue to try to be the best leader that I can, try to help the Jalen Hurts as much as I can if I'm in the reserve role again. And then you got to imagine if that happens, you're going to get a new coach here, and now you got a fresh start. Try to get in with the new coach and go from there.